Hey guys, it's me again, Val, Toxic Free. I hate the intros to my videos. I never know what to say. But anyway, let's continue. I just did a video before about healing and gaining support and all that stuff. So today's chat, I want to talk about support groups. Now, I get my ideas now from support groups because the true horror, the true everything comes in support groups, because you see the pain, you see the comments, and that to me gives me, and I'm not going to use it, inspiration's not the right word, is it? Inspiration. Oh, I'm inspired by sad people. No, I just read the comments and think, wow, if I could comment in a really long comment, to these people that write and say, please help me, blah, blah, blah. I want to reply to them. So what I'm doing now is I'm looking at the comments and the questions and all the hurt and pain and abuse from these support groups. And I'm doing videos according. So to start with, or before I start, can I just ask anybody who does like my videos, if you can share them in the support groups? Because again, like I say, my videos are based on the questions and all the hassles. Should I leave that in? I think my camera's just died. Stupid. Hello again, it's me. What's going on? Hang on a minute. So I had the iPad cover on and it was too heavy, whatever. So where was I? So yeah, can you share them? Because I think they are based on the questions and the abuse that I read about on support groups. So that would help the channel to start with. Thank you. I used to have a support group, and the reason why I'm actually talking about support groups is I'm not being negative, I don't know, they'd be down or whatever like that. There's a lot of problems with them and there's a lot of good things about them, and I just want to warn people that things that I've seen, things that I've noticed. Now, I used to have a Facebook support group. I just found that I couldn't kind of concentrate both on the channel and the support group. What I used to do with my support group, I was pretty tight on people coming in. It could be difficult, the more people, the bigger, oh, for God's sake, Val, the bigger your support group, obviously you may be getting too many people requesting to join to do this, but I would always chat. I would always go onto Messenger and ask them if we could have a chat before I invited them in. And that would give me an idea of who they were. Now, a lot of people would say, oh, sod off, I'm not chatting to you, sod off. I'd ask them questions and they would say, I'm not answering anybody questions, piss off, excuse my language. And that's like, okay, so I'm glad I didn't invite you in. So you tend to, when you message people and you want to have a little chat first, the real empaths are great. The real empaths are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you're asking these questions. This is really good, because it just means that I feel safer in the actual support group. And the ones that kicked off and said, oh, sod off, I'm not going to waste my time with this channel, this group, I'm going to go to another group. They just wanted to get in really easy. And that made me wonder, red flag there. So I'm not asking or saying that every support group should do that, but that's what I did, because I felt like when you were in my support group, you were definitely safe, and those that had to kind of go through me to get into them felt that they were comfortable and that they knew that I would look after them. Now, obviously, a lot of support groups that you join are huge, and they don't have the time to do that, and I appreciate that. So I'm not expecting anyone else to do what I did. But if you do go to a support group and you're getting it pretty easy, just remember that anybody can get into it pretty easy. If you literally just have no questions, if you just press join and you're joined, you imagine that it's like an open door to anybody, excuse me. And, you don't want to be in there with a lot of narcissists. Now, remember, narcissists lurk where empaths are. We know this. So if you get into a group that's really, really easy to get into, you can know that definitely it's going to be trolls, narcs, toxic people in there, or people who just want to push your buttons. So please be aware, if you're getting into a group really, really easy, that maybe your ex, maybe a troll, maybe somebody else can get into it. And if they see you there, then obviously they're going to learn your secrets. They're going to know the things that you're writing about. Another thing I also want to say, I'm trying to keep this video short. Please don't keep posting pictures of your exes. Now, I've got some, I've looked into this, and I obviously have seen a lot of this going on in the support groups where people are posting pictures of their exes, going, look at him, look at his eyes, you can tell he's a narc. We could get in trouble for that. Seriously, guys, we could. Never upload pictures of your ex in support groups. You're breaking the law. They are using the image when they do not have permission to do so. This is copyright infringement. So I'm just quickly going over that. I don't want to go into too much detail. Is my camera going down again? I do hope not. But they could get into that group and they could find those photographs and they could use it in the court against you. Defamation, slander, you name it. So please, please be careful. Another thing is, and this is what narcs will do as well, which is why obviously narcissism and, you know, empathic people are quite hard to decipher between, because they both do the same things, except we do it for the good and they do it to copy us because they want to pretend to be good. Now, either change your profile picture so that it's not you, just so that it's less. I mean, I don't have major reasons for this, but just do it. I would just do it. There's no harm in doing it. If you can just cover every aspect, maybe reasons you don't know why you're doing things, but just do them. Because it's better doing something first and then thinking, oh, I wished I'd done that. So change your profile picture, guys, or set up another account. Now, I know that narcissists do this to get into these places. So you might look at somebody who's, you know, answering a question. They have nothing on their account. It could mean they're an empath hiding who they are from a narcissist ex who is stalking, or it could be the narcissist ex stalking. It is a minefield out there, guys. It's a minefield. We can't fix everything. We can't keep ourselves safe. But if we can do things that can at least keep the safety levels in control, set up a new account. Don't use your old account. If you do use your old account, please, please button down the hatches, tighten everything, hide everything. Also, if you have liked a lot of narcissist pages, sometimes if you don't go into, they're at the bottom of your profile page, just check, because it says things that you've liked. And if you've liked these pages as well as joined, they will show up. So just look into that. Go into your Facebook page, either logged out, or you can go in it now from another view, public view. Go through it, check it, look at, see what you can take out, everything that is going to give anyone any details about you. It's just safety, guys. You know, we have been through hell and we need to protect ourselves. I saw a very well-meaning comment in one of the groups, and it was a newbie, and it was a man. And again, I'm afraid that men get the short end of the straw, because a lot of females that are on these support groups, and a big percentage of females, have been abused by a male. So males do have it hard if they're empathic. If they've been abused by a woman, they do find it very, very hard in these groups. And there was a man who went into a group, he'd only been on it for about a week, and he was asking people to have a meetup. And I did kind of say, listen, I'm so sorry for being Debbie Downer. I said, but I'm really concerned. Don't get into the habit of meeting people. I said, nothing against the guy. And the guy was communicating with me. He says, I understand. I agree what you've said. I said, nothing against you. But if people get into the habit of having meetups, and sometimes they work out great, and the more meetups people have that work out great, there'll be that one that they'll get to, and they'll turn up someone, they'll be the only person there. So I'm just trying to say this, just please don't meet up. Don't befriend too many people on these abuse sites, right? Why? Because we all have our own issues. We all have triggers. We all have some mental disorders. So many people in these support groups that have so many different issues. It could cause more stress. Having a friend that you've met in an abuse scenario, you know, you can trigger each other, you can fall out, you can get hurt. If you don't need to make more friends, keep the people in abuse support groups at an arm's length. If anyone comes on at you, if any troll attacks you, if someone disagrees with a comment, just block the person. Don't have an argument with them. Block them. You can block people on these sites. You don't have to answer back. You don't even have to go to admin. You can go to admin and say, listen, especially if they're being a bit narky, you know, you can say, I'm really worried about this person. Can you check out their profile? Can you look at their comments and just see? Because, you know, if you can talk to admin and be honest and say that I'm not really happy with this person, again, just block. But there's so many people on these sites that will actually go on them because there's lots of vulnerable people, and they'll want to befriend them. They'll want to chat to you in the DMs. Please don't start having conversations away. A lot of support groups have this in their rules kind of section on their site, saying, please, you know, try not to go into DMs. If you do, ask the person before. There's nothing worse than just suddenly getting a DM out of the blue from somebody, especially if it's a bloke, and you think, oh, you feel like you're being violated. You feel like somebody's stepping out of the group into your boundaries. So what I'm saying is that don't DM anybody who does get a DM. Just ignore it. Or if somebody's thinking of DMing somebody, please ask them in public first. Is it okay if I inbox you? It's polite. People have triggers. So many people have triggers from the tiniest of things. You could end up being worse. A lot of these support groups as well are run by people who haven't really healed, or haven't, they aren't a life coach. They aren't anybody that's got the real information. So you could join these groups and feel that maybe you're not being looked after as well. If admin aren't checking up on comments and fights and arguments, please leave that group, because it obviously means that they're not really interested. They just want to maybe get the likes, get a group up going, get the supply. You also get a lot of narcs going into these groups, again, pretending to be the victim. And when they do this, it's basically they'll put pictures up themselves of their narcissist ex, which could be the actual victim. And that could be a way of smear campaigning somebody, is going into a group to smear them and saying, this is my ex, look at her. She did this, she did that, she did the other. And then before you know it, they've got hundreds of people. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, you could tell by her eyes she's evil. I'm so sorry. They get fed, they get supply of all these victims coming on and giving them the sympathy and the empathy and paying them attention. Please, again, you can't tell who's who. That's the hardest thing about narcissism. You cannot tell a victim from an empath, but you can be just warned to look out for things. Again, I was mentioning the support people, the leaders, the people, the admin who are in these groups. A lot of them aren't professionals, again, so just be very careful what information you're getting back, because if they're not trained, you just don't know if you're going to get the help and the support that you need from these things. I would generally go to support groups that are run by people maybe from like Melanie Tonya Evans. The really big names that are professional. People who are the real life coaches, the real, there's a lot. I've also got a list in underneath the video in the description of a lot of links to sites that I watch, to life coaches that I watch. So if they have support groups, go to those. It's safer. You'll get more help. If you have a real deep and meaningful problem that you really need to speak about, I'm sure a real life coach who works from the heart and not from the pocket, they will inbox you and they will chat to you if you're desperate for a chat. Sometimes these people that aren't in it for the right reasons might not be as empathic towards your needs. There's a lot of things that I've covered in my other video that I'm going to cover in both. Just basically things like, don't talk about narcissism to your friends. If you're going to use the word narcissism, use the word coercive abuse, because that word seems to be out there now. It's been talked about. Narcissism is only just portrayed as somebody who looks in the mirror, who loves themselves. It's an old-fashioned word, and I'm trying to rename the word narcissism, because no, it's I'm not that powerful. But I just think that if you can work around the word coercive abuse, emotional abuse, people might get it more. You say the word narcissism and people just go floop, and they just think of somebody like Kim Kardashian or Kanye West. A lot of people as well will start putting up pictures of them crying. A lot of people will put up pictures of their abuse, their bruises, their cuts, and I'm not very keen on that, because what it also does is it's the comments you see are different to the comments that you don't see. If you put up a picture of your bruised face crying, you will get a lot of people that will have the strength to comment and go, oh my God, I hope you're okay. Inbox me, that's terrible. Have you got the police involved? And then the people that don't comment are those that maybe are getting triggered, those that see your bruises and see all the pain and the crying. They're the ones that maybe find it offensive, or they're the ones that find it upsetting. So again, it's up to you. I'm not trying to, again, diss everybody for doing things on support groups. I just want everybody to be a little bit more, I don't know, I can't think of the word, aware of what they're putting on the support groups. You put a crying face, you put your bruises, yeah, you will get a lot of, and again, a lot of people do need the sympathy. A lot of people want it, which is why they do that. But there's also a lot of people watching thinking, uh-oh, and you might get trolled. You might find that somebody then makes a comment going, oh God, you're just wanting, some empathy. You're just wanting to be a victim. And you only need one comment. And then all of a sudden the other trolls, the other bad people, they'll attack. So all I'm trying to suggest is things that aren't going to get you stressed, that aren't going to trigger you. Find the right support group for you. See, finding support, healing and growing. When you've been through abuse, you learn about yourself. You learn how strong you are. You learn your dislikes. You learn how you cope with emotions, that you learn that when you cry in a fetal position in bed for 3 hours where you want to die, you learn that you can get through that. And the more times that you lie in that fetal position in bed and you want to cry and you want to die, you think, right, okay, just go through it. Feel that pain, run with it, because you know after a while that you will wake up in the morning and you will feel okay. A lot of the crying that people do is to cleanse themselves, to get rid of the toxins. It's a healing process. So when you're crying your eyes out and you feel the lowest you'll ever feel, just think, reframe it in your head and say, this is me cleansing my body and I will be okay in the morning. Try and see a therapist. I went onto Google and I looked in my vicinity. I put a map in of therapists that know about narcissism, and I got a list of therapists that dealt with emotional abuse, that dealt with narcissism. You can find them, look out for them, and that's how I found somebody. The first counsellor in the last video wasn't. They were step by step or something. It's kind of, to me, it was therapy, counselling by numbers. You know, they just went through a certain thing. The private ones that you do have to pay for, they will kind of like give you time to talk and let you speak about whatever you want to speak about if you need to. They do not keep you on some kind of rigorous kind of script that they've got in front of them. So you can find people that have dealt with narcissism. I saw a lot of reviews. I would read the reviews, and I got a really good guy. So you can find support out there, again, along with the support on Facebook. Try not to get into a relationship too soon. You need to find out who you are. If you don't know who you are, how is the boyfriend, the partner, the girlfriend? I apologise if I do a lot of he this and he that, and, you know, him and the bloke, the partner. I talk about men a lot, and I apologise for doing that, because people who've been abused by men generally will kind of go towards the gender of talking about it like that. So I'm not tarring everybody. It's just the way that I am trying to get out of that and saying them. But it's a long process to change the way you can speak. See yourself as a survivor, not a victim. You are a survivor. And again, when you come out of this, you will be stronger than you've ever been before. You will have that narcdar, and you will see, and you'll be able to get that gut feeling and understand that gut feeling. And you will be able to deal with that gut feeling and say, okay, I know this person doesn't feel right to me. I'm going to walk away. You do not have to be friendly to everybody. You can put your boundaries up. You do not have to be nice to everybody because you're a nice person. Do not worry about hurting them, because how much have we been hurt by letting people into our world because we don't want to hurt them, and we take all the pain instead. Do not judge yourself from not leaving sooner. Don't feel bad, don't feel guilty. Again, in my last video about support, I do mention this. Do not feel, your healing process is different to others, and you will heal in your own way. If you have to go back 10 times, go back 10 times, but you're going to learn something. It's only a mistake if you keep making it too long and you don't leave when you've learnt your lesson. So I think that's going to be it. So please, guys, I hope that's helped about support groups. Just be very careful. Block people if you don't want to speak to them. Don't get involved with arguments. Just think about what you're doing. Go on with a fake account. I hate the word fake account. Go on with a new account that's, you know, again, I know that the narcissists will do this as well, but if you are aware of the pitfalls, and at least you're aware. It's not about avoiding them. It's about being aware of them at least. Again, I've got a whole list of life coaches that I watch, links below, that if they have support groups, it'd be great to join them, because they are proper, you know, they're proper. That's all I can say. They've been trained. They're probably psychologists, and if they're not, they're just good people who I trust. If you do like this video, and if you kind of want to get a notification for the next one that's coming up, just subscribe and get notifications for it. And sharing. I know I've never been one to keep pushing the share. I hate doing it, but because these videos are based on support group questions and problems and people in pain and hurt, they will be the ideal things to share on Facebook groups and support groups. If you see somebody struggling and you know I've got a video that will kind of help them, just share it. I really appreciate all your support. Thank you so much. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay toxic free.